Have you ever wondered what happens when an empire refuses to die, or what it looks like when a kingdom of diamonds transforms into a fortress of silicon? What if I told you there is a place where the world's most famous jewels were once traded like common fruit? Today, we journey to a city that sits at the crossroads of history and the future. A city that has survived sieges, betrayals, and the total collapse of the old world. Before we dive into the heart of this ancient capital, make sure to hit that subscribe button to join us for more stories of the world's most fascinating places. Now, let us walk the streets of Hyderabad, the city born from a river and a legend. The name Hyderabad carries a duality that tells you everything you need to know about its soul. On one hand, the official history says it honors Caliph Ali ibn Abi Talib, known as the Lion-Hearted Warrior. It is a name of power, of religious devotion, and of imperial strength. But the people have another story, one whispered in the shadows of the old bazaars. They tell of a dancing girl named Bhagmati, a woman of such grace and beauty that a sultan risked everything for her. They say she converted to Islam and took the name Hyder Mahal, giving the city its title. Was this city built for a god, or was it built for a woman? The original name was Bagnagar, the City of Gardens. It was intended to be a paradise on earth, a place of lush greenery amidst the harsh grey rocks of the plateau. But history is rarely kind to gardens. As the city grew, the greenery was replaced by stone, and the whispers of lovers were replaced by the roar of cannons. The Qutb Shahi dynasty built a legacy of art and architecture, but they could not hold back the tide of the north. Power is a flickering candle, and in the late 17th century, the wind was blowing from the Mughal Empire. No city in the world changes hands quite like Hyderabad. It is a place that has been bought, sold, seized, and bargained for over centuries. The Qutb Shahi dynasty gave it a heart, but the Mughals took its breath away. In the year 1687, the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb arrived. He did not come to build, he came to conquer. For a full year, his armies surrounded the great fort of Golconda, waiting for the spirit of the city to break. When the gates finally opened, it was not through force, but through the oldest weapon in history, betrayal. The fall of the Qutb Shahis was supposed to be the end of Hyderabad's independence, but history has a way of repeating itself in circles. A Mughal viceroy named Asaf Jah I was sent to govern the south. He was a man of immense patience and even greater ambition. He watched the Mughal Empire begin to crumble from within, and he saw his opportunity. In the year 1724, he resigned his imperial post and marched south. He defeated his rivals at the Battle of Shakar Kheda and declared a new kind of autonomy. The heirs of Asaf Jah, known as the Nizams, would rule for over 200 years. They transformed Hyderabad from a mere provincial outpost into a sophisticated imperial capital. They were masters of the balancing act, holding onto their power while the rest of the world burned. Under their rule, the city became a magnet for the brightest minds of the era. Poets, architects, and artisans traveled from across the known world to seek the patronage of the Nizams. It was an age of opulence, but also an age of deep, strategic caution. As the British Empire began to swallow the Indian subcontinent, the Nizams played a dangerous game. They signed subsidiary alliances, allowing British soldiers to live in their lands in exchange for protection. They hosted British cantonments, yet they never fully surrendered their symbolic grandeur. The Nizam was often called the faithful ally of the British, but he was also a man who kept his own secrets. He sat on a throne made of diamonds, watching as the map of the world was redrawn in red ink. How long can a kingdom survive in the shadow of an empire? When the year 1947 arrived, the world changed forever. India became independent, and the princely states were forced to choose a side. Nizam VII, Mir Osman Ali Khan, made a gamble that would define the rest of his life. He chose sovereignty. He wanted his kingdom to remain a separate nation, a landlocked island of royalty in the middle of a new republic. But the forces of history were moving too fast. The dream of a private kingdom was a relic of a dying age. In September of 1948, the Indian Army launched Operation Polo. It was a military action that lasted only 5 days, but it ended a dynasty that had stood for centuries. The Nizam signed the instrument of accession, and the princely state of Hyderabad ceased to exist. It was a moment of profound tragedy for some and a moment of liberation for others. The kingdom became a state capital, moving through different political identities until it finally became the crown jewel of the new state of Telangana in 2014. The physical bones of Hyderabad are made of stone, water, and sky. The city sprawls across 650 square kilometers of pink and gray granite. This is a terrain that does not allow for easy construction. It forces the city to adapt to its uneven hills and sun-scorched valleys. Between the months of June and October, the monsoon lashes the earth, filling the ancient lakes that sustain life. The landscape is not just a backdrop, it is a participant in the city's history. It dictated where the palaces rose and where the slums grew. The highest point in the city is Banjara Hills, reaching 672 meters. Today, it is a place of wealth and luxury, but it was once a wild terrain of rocks and thieves. Contrast this with the low-lying areas near the Musi River, where the foundations of the city first took root. The Hussain Sagar Lake, built in 1562, is older than the city itself. It stands as a reminder that in this dry plateau, water is more valuable than gold. Why do we build our lives around water, only to forget its power when the rain stops? To walk through Hyderabad is to walk through layers of power. The Charminar, with its 4 grand arches and soaring minarets, is the anchor of the old city. It was built to mark the end of a plague, a monument to survival. Not far away, the Golconda Fort whispers stories of legendary sieges and hidden treasures. Its walls are thick enough to stop a cannonball, yet they could not stop the passage of time. These structures were built to impress, but they were also built to last long after their creators were gone. In the 19th century, a new kind of elegance arrived. The Falaknuma Palace, shaped like a scorpion, echoes the Palladian style of the West. It is a place of marble and stained glass, a testament to the global tastes of the Nizams. Meanwhile, the Chowmahala Palace blends the delicate beauty of Baroque harem chambers with the rigid strength of a neoclassical court. Under the 7th Nizam, the city saw the rise of Indo-Saracenic civic monuments. Courthouses and hospitals were designed by architects like Vincent Esch, blending the best of Eastern and Western design. This architectural fusion is the physical manifestation of a culture unlike any other. When Delhi fell during the unrest of 1857, the Mughal court was scattered. Its artists, musicians, and poets fled south to the only place that still offered them safety, Hyderabad. The result was an extraordinary cultural explosion. Telugu and Urdu became entwined as the official languages of the state. It was a place where Hindu and Muslim traditions did not just coexist, they merged into a single, unique identity. In the streets of Hyderabad, you can see Kuchipudi dance and hear Qawwali music in the same neighborhood. You can see the celebrations of Ganesh Chaturthi and Eid ul-Fitr happening side by side. The Nizam's patronage even elevated courtesans to the status of cultural custodians. It was here that India's first female Urdu poet published a complete collection of her work. This north-south confluence is the city's true inheritance. It is a reminder that when cultures collide, they do not always destroy each other. Sometimes, they create something far more beautiful. You cannot understand the soul of this city without tasting its food. Hyderabadi cuisine is diplomacy served on a plate. It is the result of centuries of spice trade and imperial migration. The biryani, which carries a National Geographical Indication tag, is the perfect example of this. It was born from the marriage of Mughal grandeur and native Telugu spice. But it doesn't stop there. Iranian, Turkish, and even French influences have left their mark on the local palate. This is why UNESCO recognized Hyderabad as a creative city of gastronomy. The smell of Baghara Bengan and Qurbani Ka Meetha drifts through the lanes of the old bazaars. These are the same lanes where pearls and diamonds have been sold for centuries. In Hyderabad, food is not just sustenance, it is a performance. It is a way of saying that even in a world of change, some flavors are eternal. Have you ever wondered why a single dish can define the identity of millions of people? It is because the kitchen is the only place where the past is still alive and steaming. The economy of Hyderabad has undergone a metamorphosis that is almost impossible to believe. For centuries, it was the world's only trading center for Golconda diamonds. It was a place where the wealth of the earth was pulled from the ground and sold to kings. By the 20th century, the city began to industrialize, focusing on steel, defense research, and nuclear technology. But the real turning point came in the 1990s with the birth of HITEC City. Suddenly, the City of Pearls became the city of processors. Global giants like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Apple moved in, following the new infrastructure. By the year 2021, information technology exports reached nearly 1,46,000 crore rupees. The transformation from an agrarian kingdom to a global tech hub was complete. Today, the city answers to both its old names and its new ones. It is still the City of Pearls, but it is also Cyberabad. It is a city that has learned how to trade in both diamonds and data. Today, Hyderabad is home to nearly 9,700,000 people. It is a massive, breathing organism of Telugu and Urdu speakers. It is a destination for migrants from every corner of India, all looking for a piece of the dream. The city's literacy rate outpaces the national average, yet it still struggles with the reality of its slums, which house 1,700,000 people. This is the contrast of the modern world. Skyscrapers rise in Gachibowli, while medieval bazaars continue to sell bangles in Lard Bazaar. Even the entertainment industry has shifted its center of gravity. The Telugu film industry, known as Tollywood, is now the highest grossing in all of India. It produces spectacles that capture the imagination of the entire country. Hyderabad is ancient and ultra-modern, fractured and cohesive. It is a city that refuses to be defined by a single story. It is a place where you can find a 500-year-old fort standing next to a glass-walled office building. How does a city manage to keep its heart while changing its face so many times? The story of Hyderabad is a lesson in adaptation. It teaches us that nothing is permanent except the ability to change. The sultans are gone, the Nizams have faded into history, and the British have long since departed. Yet the city remains. It has survived because it was willing to absorb new ideas, new people, and new technologies. It did not break when the world around it changed. It simply redefined what it meant to be Hyderabad. It reminds us that our roots are important, but they should never stop us from reaching for the sky. As we look at the gleaming towers of the tech districts and the crumbling stone of the old forts, we must ask ourselves a question. What are we building today that will stand the test of 500 years? Will our digital legacies be as enduring as the granite of the Deccan? Hyderabad tells us that the answer lies in the fusion of our past and our future. It tells us that a city is not just a collection of buildings, but a collection of stories. What will your story be when the historians look back at this age? If you found this journey through the city of pearls and processes inspiring, don't forget to engage with us. What is your favorite part of Hyderabad's history? Is it the legend of the dancing girl or the rise of the tech giants? Let us know in the comments below. Your perspective helps us bring these stories to life. Please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. We have many more journeys to take together across the landscapes of time and geography. Thank you for watching.